Hey, peace everybody, shalom. You back with one of these. It's just something I encountered. While on these YouTube alleys, y'all know how they get. But yeah, the subject of matter at hand right now is the original comment that I made to the guy that originally made the video, which was, you can read, how did you feel about black people being the original Jews? You got one, they aren't. Science proves Christianity is not a biblical practice. I mean, I'm sure you guys can read, right? Science isn't what it used to be. Precisely, that's why you use new methods to prove this theory through. Okay, what science states? So I left him a link because at the time I was kind of busy taking care of stuff, so I didn't have the time allowed to just sit here and type all day. So I just scrolled past it a little bit. I said, look, I don't have too much time, I'm busy. But the son said that I did not come in my name, but my father's name. Christianity does not exist. Another person, oh, he doesn't have time. Okay, whatever. One brother who's waking up, shout out to Melanated Bear 713. We in the same area. We gotta, you know what I'm saying, keep on pushing this message so they get it. They are the real original Israelites. The rest of the Jewish are actually, is actually converted to Judaism. The converted one aren't the real one. You never heard of the Ashkenazi? Anyway, carry on. They're not a scoop. Okay, do some research. Alright, so basically I end up saying, hey, I'm gonna put a video real quick. I don't got a lot of time again, but we just gonna show them a little bit and then we're gonna keep on moving. You know how we do it. Give me 1 second, gang. Hang on.
As genetic descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whereas all of his questions are just completely negative. Nothing about unification, nothing about talking, dialoguing, which is something I've even tried to get him to do in the past. I said, hey, let's talk. And instead he just kind of trolls in the comment section and trolling me on Facebook at the moment. And so let's get to the actual comment. But before I get to it, is there anything you want to say to this?
Yeah, so his responses here are it's paranoia, bro. And you'll see this thing with a lot of racists and white supremacists. A lot of their talking points is built on paranoia, right? And this can also lead to violence towards people of color or black people as well, because you see white supremacists in the state, oh, black people are going to replace us. Black people are going to overthrow us. Oh, black people birth rates are much higher than white Americans. We must do something about, like, you hear this paranoia, and a lot of this paranoia leads to what? This could lead to violence. This could lead to a lot of these ideas transforming to something else. He says here, Jews have to leave the land. Most of us don't care about moving to Israel.
Most black people think it's in Africa.
Yeah, well, there's a pocket of people.
Maybe not most. I'll take that back. But black folks don't care about the land. Well, a few black people do not care about the land. Let me put it that way. My bad.
There's some crazy. Excuse my language. How can I phrase this without being incendiary? There are some people out there that don't even believe that Israel is even in the Middle East. They believe it's in Ethiopia, South Africa, which makes no sense geographically and historically. But be that as it's may, the purpose is, a lot of these things is they are scared, they fear that they're about to get overthrown, right? And our message is not about, oh, we're going to amass black Americans by the millions and tell them to move to the land of Israel. First of all, me personally, I'm not going over there for any reason, because I don't agree with Ashkenazi rights. You're not going to force me to submit under Ashkenazi rites. And that's not the only form of Judaism. And no, all forms of Judaism don't agree. There's places where they compare, some places where they contrast. There's a form of Judaism don't even regard rabbinic rulings and laws. You have Judaism like the Sephardi at one point didn't even care about that maternal lineage stuff that y'all get from the Mishnah. They didn't care about that. They all.
And so this paper details this, and it reads, for example, this is from the genetics of African populations in health and disease, and it reads, for example, Underhill 2000 study state that the V38/M35 lineage was carried into the Near East from Africa in the Mesolithic. This V38/M35 in Africa corresponds to the TAQI49AF5. It is far more likely that pre-Proto-Semitic speakers went into the Near East at this time, where Semitic languages have long since dominated. But the predominant haplotypes in most Semitic-speaking populations are variants. I believe this is 7, 7, and 8 in the TAQI49AF system, which are equivalent to FM89 associated lineages. The parsimonious explanation is that ancestral Semitic was adopted by those bearing haplotypes 7 and 8, and 7 and 8 is FM89 lineages. So they adopted ancestral Semitic from V38 and M35, and that's what I was saying in my comment right here. And so then I say haplogroups, language, and culture are not that different when you think about it. People create languages and people create culture, but guess what? People also carry haplogroups. Therefore, when an ethnic group of people create a language and culture, those people typically also carry the same haplogroup within that population, especially in ancient times. So it's not that confusing when you think about it, which is what he refuses to do. He refuses to try to understand what we're saying. And so he says, this is me. But you can also come on my YouTube channel and talk because back and forth Facebook threads get long. I rather dialogue and speak than text all day. But as y'all can see with this YouTube channel or YouTube video that I'm doing right now, he basically refused to, dialogue with me. So we're here now. But so he leaves a lengthy comment down here, but he says, I guess you missed the may have statement in the study. And so he's referring to this study right here as it says may have right here. It says the Proto-Afroasiatic group carrying the E-P2 mutation may have, and that's the part he's hooked on, may have appeared at the same time and consequently gave rise to the different major population groups, including current speakers of the Afroasiatic languages and pastoralist populations. So he's stuck on the part that says may have, like he thinks this is the kill shot. But I'm like you'll see my response. But I'm basically like, that's more papers allude to the fact that Afroasiatic and haplogroup E are one and the same. Like he thinks that
the point he's not getting, of course, they can't put in there definitively that anything is anything. That's how scientific papers are written. What he's not getting is when
Shalom fam, it's your brother Benaiah Ben Israel, coming to you with the lesson, the Niggid, Prince of the Exiles. That's the Niggid, Prince of the Exiles. And with that family, let's get started. Now, you may be wondering, okay, what's a Niggid? Or you may be thinking, oh, I know what a Niggid is. Matter of fact, I got 2 Niggids in my neighborhood. No, but seriously fam, you may be surprised to know that a Niggid is not what you think it is. In fact, a Niggid can be found in your Bible. That's right. And it's associated with the house of Judah, and it's associated with a people in exile. That's right, fam. The Niggid traces back to Judah in exile. And with that, fam, let's take a closer look. And so let's begin our journey, as we often do, by reviewing the description of the tribe of Judah in archaeology. Let's recap our review of the Lachish relief. Now, shortly after King Sennacherib of Assyria conquered the tribe of Judah's city called Lachish, the Assyrians created a stone monument or stone relief in which they depicted the tribe of Judah. Now, we pointed out in previous videos that this relief depicts the tribe of Judah as a Negroid people. Not only that, archaeology at the Lachish site confirms the people were a Negroid people, labeling the entire population as Egypto-Nubian, aka black people. Now, keep in mind, this depiction of the tribe of Judah was made around 701 BC. Then, roughly 104 years later, the king of Babylon comes and takes the same Negroid people of Judah to Babylon and to Spain, according to the old references. As the following reference reads, and it reads, King Alonso, whence we may learn, if we can believe it, that a king of Spain, who had assisted Nebuchadnezzar in reducing Jerusalem, brought an enormous population into Spain, all from either the family of David or at least from the tribe of Judah. And that the royal family resided first in Seville, then in Granada, and that the exiles afterwards have their numbers greatly increased by fugitives from the desolation of the Second Temple. And the next reference reads, and reads, the Spanish Jews maintained that they had been transported hither after the destruction of the temple by the Babylonian conqueror Nebuchadnezzar. Certain Jewish families, the Ibn Daruls and the Abarbanels, boasted descendant from the royal house of Judah, and maintained that their ancestors had been settled since the time immemorial, partly in the district of Lucena and partly in the environs of Toledo and Seville. And the next reference reads, and it reads, but to come to rabbinical authors, Abarbanel in his commentary on Zechariah, the Lord also shall save the tents of Judah, affirms that at the desolation of the first temple, 2 families of the house of David came and settled in Spain, one at Lucena and the other, the Abarbanels, at Seville. And from these came 1,000 offshoots. Not only were black, Spanish, and Portuguese brews brought to Spain during the time of Nebuchadnezzar and General Titus, we also see these Spanish brews referenced in the Bible by the Apostle Paul, as the following reference reads, and reads, Romans chapter 15, verse 24 reads, whensoever I take my journey into Spain, I will come to you, for I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thither by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company. Romans chapter 15, verse 28. When therefore I have performed this, and have sealed to them this fruit, I will come by you into Spain. The Apostle Paul wasn't the only witness to these brews of Spain. We have additional evidence found in archaeology. Cranial analysis, the study of skulls of the brews of Spain and Portugal. Their skulls were identified as dolichocephalic, or in other words, they had Negro skulls. As the following reference reads, and reads, the Negroid type is primarily represented by the Negro of Africa, between the Sahara and the Cape District, including Madagascar. The skin varies from dark brown to brown black, with eyes of similar dark hue, and hair usually black and always crisp or woolly. The skull is narrow, dolichocephalic, with orbital ridges not prominent, prognathous, with depressed nasal bones, cause the nose to be flat as well as broad, and the lips are coarse and projected. And the next reference reads, and reads, the Jews of Dagestan have even a cephalic index of 87.0. On the other hand, those of Africa and Syria have a purely dolichocephalic head. And the next reference reads, and reads, the same variability occurs in other finds, but the skulls of most of